There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I am so pleased to be here this evening with Mr. Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic. And yay, give him a big hand for me. Yay, Mel.
My pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I told Mel I'm excited to meet him and the others when I go down to Sedona this May. It will be so nice. I love Sedona. Been there a few times, but never going to meet people that I watch all the time and see all the time. So I'm excited about it. It's really
It's funny. I used to do a lot of television, and now with YouTube, it's radio's intimate because they can't see you, you can't see them, so you're just going on voice. But
Yes.
television and YouTube is a little one-sided because it's funny. People watch us on YouTube and they meet us. They're like, "Hi, Mel," or "Hi, or hi."
Yeah. They feel they know us. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
It's like,
Yeah.
you don't know me, but I know you, and I'm like,
That's very, very true. I'm excited. I have met a couple of people in real life. Actually, I have a dream detective, Kate, who is here this evening, and she has come to Seattle, and we met. And she's actually lives near Linda G.
wow.
So we have had the chance to meet, and it's always nice. It's always nice to meet the people that you work with, and the people that you.
I have met the most amazing people from doing this. I mean,
oh, I bet.
When I used to do television, I met a lot of people, but this has been really amazing. And it's been Linda is the one. I had a YouTube channel before, but I didn't do much with it. Only had like 300 followers. I didn't really think about it. When I met Linda, she encouraged me to do it. Well, she encouraged me to do it. And I'm like, I don't know. And she said, "Well, I want you on my channel, but you better be prepared because it's going to get really busy." And I said, "Well, I have a staff for that."
Yes.
I think the first time on our show, I personally answered over 250 emails. And
oh my Lord, Mel, that's wonderful, though. That's just wonderful. It gets a little overwhelming, I suppose. But
somebody texted the other night or made a comment I should have more followers, but I don't know. I think I'm up to almost 18,000.
That's a lot. That's wonderful.
I tell people subscribe, and every 1,000 I give away 3 free half-hour sessions.
There you go.
For my members, I'll do some live stream yards and.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of nice readers I've met.
Oh yes, yes. This community is full of really not only nice people in general, but wonderful and talented readers and psychics and tarot, whatever. And there's so many different types of, like, we have Cash Peters and what he does. I mean, just all different types of things available to everybody.
I just did a show with Aiden last night.
Oh yeah, he's the young guy, isn't he? He's a fairly young kid.
19.
Yeah,
reminds me of me when I was.
Oh, he's 19. Okay, I thought he was younger.
I my readings when I was 18. I'll be 69 next month. So do the math.
No, Mel, you aren't 69. Really?
Will be. Yeah.
Will be.
Got this turkey chin going on. But
well, I got the same thing. I'll be 68 in the fall, so I understand.
There we go.
So we're contemporaries, basically. Yeah. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Somebody said something to me. I forgot what it was. It was something smart, and I looked at her and I said, "Honey, I forgot more than you ever knew."
Oh, that is really funny. I love the one where
hi, Ron.
Where the girl says, "I can still wear my earrings from high school." I like that one. Oh, wow.
Winston Churchill said it was the best thing. What did he say? There was somebody that was. This woman said to him, "You're drunk," and he said, "But in the morning I will be sober, and you'll still be ugly."
That's great. Oh, that's great. The comebacks that fast. That's amazing. You can get them that fast. So I've got some. I want to say hello to everybody. First of all, thanks everybody for being here. It's so wonderful to see you all. I'm not going to sit here and call off everybody's name, which I could do because I love you all so much. But I'm sure that you're more interested in maybe Mel and I, or Mel mostly, doing some readings. And so we're going to get started. I have some questions that were left on the my community board and Mel's community board. And so I'm going to bring those up for us. And I see here that Sandra has put up a question and also has donated. Thank you, Sandra. We'll definitely answer your question for you. Mel was looking more for some political stuff, and I've got a couple that came up today that I want to ask you.
And today's the first day of Black History Month.
I know.
And, there's a lot going on because something about with the teaching of African American studies, some kind of non-for-profit, supposedly non-political organization kind of watered it down. And, the governor of Illinois is hopping mad about it. And he said the universities here will teach what we want to teach.
That's right. That's right. Good for him.
It's like a middle finger to Satan. Yay.
Well, and he's disturbing. He's just trying to blot out gay people, Black people, anybody that's not what he wants to,
with people like him and Abbott in Texas, it's like,
yes,
take us back 60 years.
I know. Well, they have already with the Roe v. Wade. They've taken us back beyond 50. At
some point, I see that reinstated.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I have a feeling it will be, but we got to get back. The Democrats have to get back in charge, basically, and it would be nice to load the Supreme Court, but I don't think that Joe is going to do that. Do you think Joe will do that?
I see new justices, but I see investigations with Kavanaugh. And who was that religious guy that came forward and said they were giving money to some of the Supreme Court justices to get things passed and taking fancy dinners and stuff like that? That's going to shake up the court. And it
is going to shake it up. Yeah.
The rule of ethics coming out that the Supreme Court will have to follow, and when they should recuse themselves and they should divorce themselves from politics.
That's right. Especially Clarence Thomas, of course. Kavanaugh, like you say, and that other guy, what is it, with an A? His last name starts with an A. He's
Alito.
Alito, yeah. Not a very nice man.
Well, when Mitch McConnell was up there and he took Amy Coney Barrett with him, and he's like, "Oh, she's not political. She's not political."
Oh, you do a good job, Mel.
She's not political. Why do you have her at your event?
I know. Yeah. Mr. McTurtle. He's I can actually stand him right now more than I can stand the others in the
I never thought I'd say
I know.
Tolerate him, but compared to
McCarthy. I know. Isn't it funny how that can change depending upon who's in charge or who's being the biggest a-hole, So I just want to put Sandra up here first. She has a question about retirement, and she had a donation, so I'm going to let you answer her question. But the other questions we have are more political. Sorry.
We can talk about world events too.
Okay.
My guides are telling me to wait another year. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
For some reason, not for a bad reason, they're just saying wait another year. That's what I picked up.
Yeah, I picked up focus on the future, but make a good plan. I started taking my Social Security last year, and I'm still working. Unfortunately, I got $38,000 in Social Security between my husband and I have to pay taxes on it because I made too much money. So be sure that you talk to somebody about when's a good time for you. Some people wait till they're 70. I was 66 and 4 months or something when I did it because I just felt like I wanted to make sure that I was going to get it, not lose it. Because my mother was like, she retired, she got Social Security for 2 months, and then she died. So she didn't get what she wanted.
I'm not on Social Security. I'm going to wait. So
you are going to wait.
People say you have to sign up by 70, but I don't know.
But I think you have to start taking it at 70, Mel, don't you?
I don't know.
I think so.
What if I don't want to take it?
I don't know the answer to the question. You'll have to ask your guides.
Talk to the Social Security people.
Yeah. I'm happy to take it. I don't have a problem getting that extra money that I paid in for all those years. That's not a big deal to me. But yeah. Anyway, gosh, everybody's here. Thank you all for being here. This is wonderful. I'm so glad. What I did read, I wanted to say this about Black History Month. Thanks, Marcia. And DeSantis, somebody said DeSantis doesn't recognize African American, in the school system, and he wants to get rid of it in the universities. And they said, so he isn't celebrating. Today's March 1st for him.
Well, if that ever went to the Supreme Court with what he's trying to do in the schools in Florida,
yep,
and this court would probably overturn it, because you can't restrict people's freedom of speech. And essentially that's what he's doing. I mean, teachers can say gay. At dinner time, my husband was saying, why don't the teachers in Florida speak up? I said, because they're afraid to lose their jobs, or they're going to jail. I mean, it's a travesty when a teacher, if she gives a student a book to read, can go to jail for 5 years when he or she commits a felony. That's just a load of what.
It is a load of Absolutely.
That's in Germany, and that's just cool.
It is.
So DeSatan can think what he wants, but at some point this is going to go to the Supreme Court, and they're going to say, no, you can't do that.
Yep. And it is the AP classes. And so that was the other thing. It was today. It was the universities. He wants to get rid of diversity.
Right.
Don't talk about diversity. I thought to myself, oh my God.
Well, why don't we
here we go.
Let's go back to the days before the Civil War and put him in the antebellum South, because he clearly, in my opinion, is a bigot and a racist.
He is. Oh, definitely. He is. He's everything. And even I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about the fact that on his ad to be governor again, he had an ad that actually said, and on the 8th day, God made Ron DeSantis because he needed a strong man to do something for Florida or whatever. And I went,
read between the lines.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I knew that, Christine Thomas, that they have gotten rid of the library bookshelves. And that's another thing. You can't ban books.
I mean, when you can't read Catcher in the Rye, or Mockingbird. Now, how much do you want to bet if somebody came along in Florida and said, well, we're going to ban the Bible from schools and bookshelves? Oh my God, everybody be up in arms. Well, hello.
They would be.
And I see this going to the court, and they're going to say it's discriminatory.
Of course.
I mean,
they should.
When you can't To Kill a Mockingbird or The Catcher in the Rye. I mean, when I was in high school, I went to school in Kentucky, and I graduated in 1972, and it was pretty conservative in those days. But those books were required reading.
Sure they were. I was in high school at the same time, but my husband's from Kentucky. Where are you from in Kentucky?
Right outside of Louisville.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. My husband was from Horse Cave, which is down near.
That's near Bowling Green. When you take I-65 straight south.
Yes, you do.
Mammoth.
Horse Cave. Near Mammoth. Yeah, absolutely. That's a riot. There's a lot of people. Mark, who I brought up earlier, he's from there as well. And Lisa Foster, who's one of our subscribers, she's from Kentucky. There's a lot of Kentucky people here. That's awesome. Well, when did you go to Illinois? When did you decide to go there?
I moved here in 1983.
Oh, you did. Okay.
So I've been here. Okay. I've been here. I think I was 27. I've been here longer than I was in Kentucky. But it's funny. My husband said, Mel, anytime you start talking about Kentucky, or you talk to your sister down there, the light switch comes on and your accent comes back. And even talking about
my husband too. Oh, we'll talk to his brothers, and they are talking like this. So you probably do the same thing.
There's that vowel shift. My grandmother was from the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh.
I gotta get an accent. Let me think. I gotta get in character for it. It's hot here up in the winter. I had to go about and get me some greens, brought them home and cooked them up real good. Had a whole poke of them. Couldn't even eat them all. Had to share them with everybody. That's how she spoke.
What is the one my husband says? As long as the creek don't rise.
How's it go? Wait. As long as
something in the creek don't. I'll be there tomorrow. So as long as this don't happen and the creek don't rise, or something like that.
Rise.
Yeah.
So it's not a dime, it's a dime.
It's a dime, and it's a roof. It's a roof and a ladle, not a ladle, a ladle.
Well, where I come from, the word tire
Hmm.
And T let's see, TAR, TIRE, and TOWER are all the same.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
there's the tar on the road. That's the road
Right.
tar. When it gets
Yeah.
hot outside, that bubbles, burns your feet. And then there's the
Hmm.
tar had a flat tar because the tar on the road got too hot.
That's right.
And the good thing I was going to pass out water tar because that got me some water to put out that heat on that tar that wasn't flat.
Oh, that's great. That's
And it's
great.
a
Oh my God,
PEN,
no.
a PIN are the same. You
Uh-huh.
say you got a pen. What kind? A straight pen, safety pen, or a writing pen?
Right. Right.
It's the same.
Wow. My husband always used to say too, I'll give you a for example.
Yeah.
And I'd say, don't just say I'll give you an example. No, it's a for example.
And my aunt, they would put an R like instead of wash, it was wash.
Wash. Yeah.
Got to
Yeah.
wash
Well,
clothes.
I have the same problem when, I'm from New Hampshire and I'm now living in Seattle. And when I was talking to my brother when he was alive, and I'd get off the phone with him, then we would go park our car and have a beer,
I think part of that's a Scotch Irish influence in the country.
Probably. Yeah. Yep.
Wash the clothes or swaller. So and
Uh-huh.
sometimes the A is dropped. If there's a W at the end of the word, it's dropped. Like
Yep.
window becomes winder,
Winter.
middle becomes
Yep.
minner. I remember when I
Yep.
was in school, I was in second grade and we were talking about fish or something, and I said, "Well, my grandpa uses minners for bait." And the teacher said it's minnow. And I said, "No, my grandpa says minner, it's minner."
Yeah, it's a minner. Oh, that's a rocket.
The
Wow.
window, open the window, it's hot here.
Open the window. Yep.
Get me the vapors.
Oh, it is funny to live in I've lived in different parts of the country, and what people have for their vernacular is quite funny in different spots. So
Southern expressions are very colorful.
they are colorful. That's right. You're right. So I've got highlighted here Carrie Lake. It's actually is headed for a legal situation. They're tired of what she's doing because apparently she just had a great big assembly of people again, and she said that she won and she was going to what's her name is an illegitimate governor. Who does this remind you of? But now I guess
Shut her down because she's going to get sued. Because I'm going to tell you, there's a certain news organization that's going to lose a lot of money because what they did about the voting machines,
yes,
perpetuating the lie and all that stuff.
Right.
And if they're not indicted criminally, the way to hit them is we say in the South, hit them in the pocketbook, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's right. That's right. And I sure hope Ruben Gallego does well in the Senate race in 2024. I'd love to see Kristen Sinema go away. I really would.
Oh, she's like, please.
I know.
Enema.
Kristen Enema.
Enema.
It sounds like something Linda G would say, like Pete Bootylicious and.
That's us.
Oh, that's great. All right, so let's see. I have one of the. This one came in for us. Let's see if I got the whole thing. Oh, yes. Sage Burner says the Florida Republicans have manipulated voting districts towards their favor in years, in addition to packing the courts with judges that may or may not be of like mind and financial obligations. Is this going to continue, or will it change soon-ish? Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of investigations down there. At some point, not tomorrow at 2:30, I see Florida purple.
Uh-huh.
I think when the Democrats put up Charlie Crist, he'd been a Republican.
Uh-huh.
He changed to Democrat. I think they kind of screwed themselves. They screwed the pooch.
Right.
He's gotten a real good, I want to say charismatic but fiery kind of Democrat.
Uh-huh.
They could have won, but
I think so.
I found that amazing when, that Trump trial in Florida, and the judges it was supposed to be through random rotation. I forgot, or draw the name or something. And I thought there was some backdoor fiddling going on with the judge that was chosen because she was put in by Trump. And boy, she's dog meat now because everything she ruled on, they're saying, wait a minute. She way
I know.
over
Yeah.
the boundaries.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
And there's going to be more that'll come out about her too.
There's somebody else that just overturned something, and I think it was in Florida. I can't remember what it was, but it was another judge, and I just don't think these judges are going to last because they're making silly, just like the one you're talking about. They make these silly judgments, and then their name is pretty much mud afterwards because they're
All
they're
they can do is just follow a different kind of lawsuit and see what happens.
Yep.
But I'm sure that when they said that the way that the judges were picked for that particular case, I think it was federal, they're supposed to go through a lottery system. But I think somebody had their hand in the till.
Yeah. They did. Yep. All right. Well, we have Mikhail Romanoff from the UK. Welcome to everybody. I just want you all to know, if I can't, I did see Kevin Chandler here. So hi, Kevin. I'm glad you're here. Mel was asking about you earlier. So this one wants to know, any idea when things will start to improve in the UK? Life is terrible at the moment between the few who have much and the majority of us who have little. It's actually the United States too, Mikhail.
How does it say the rich get richer and the poor get poorer?
I know.
I just got a comment. If I'm looking to the side, it's because I've got emails coming in while we're talking. So it's about this, by the way.
Oh, it is? Okay.
And let me get Romanoff, but let me read this.
Okay.
W just says, I couldn't comment on your collab because it was set to subscriber mode. So everybody subscribe. And by the time I subscribed and commented, it would be too late. So I put it here. If past the time you're supposed to take Social Security, you will be penalized by getting a lesser amount. If you're accounting on a certain amount, that could be important. If you want to have the particulars on the requirements, call and speak with them. Pack your patience. Oh, cool. I like that.
Thanks for letting us know that. Very good. Yeah. Well, it's important to know that, Mel, because you're so close to that timeline.
70.
Yeah.
I could turn back time. I'm not a singer.
It's pretty good.
Mikhail Romanoff. I love the name.
I know.
Romanoff. Okay. Well, Boris Johnson didn't help matters any.
Oh my God, no. And neither did that 1 month lady, right?
There was one before him that lasted a month. Who's the prime minister there now? I don't even know.
Isn't it like a man who has Indian origin or something? Yes. Yeah.
I see changes in the parliament coming there, because I think what happens, now y'all can correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think what they do is they elect the parliament, and then the parliamentarians, whatever party takes the majority in parliament, then puts up candidates for prime minister, and then the parliamentarians vote among themselves. I think it works that way. But anyway, I see more middle of the road parliament coming in to the UK, and I see a prime minister that's very much middle of the road. Leaning more toward what we'd say here, the Democratic Party.
Right.
And I think that person will be able to get the economy straightened out there, and heavier taxing on the wealthy and take it easy on the working class. So I see more changes coming in the British Parliament, and also, this guy's not going to be prime minister long. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. Wow. What did you think of Netanyahu got back in there again? That is so weird to me.
I wonder how they counted the votes there. But you know what? I see him under indictment as well. And so, I don't see him in power long either.
Yeah. Well, I just want you to know, Mikhail, that we're all, it's the same pretty much all over the world. Some of the same things are occurring in all these different countries right now. And, we're really in need of some really intelligent people to get going there.
Because of the insecurity, like Hitler, these politicians play on the xenophobia.
Yeah.
And they have to blame somebody.
Yep.
Like Trump blamed Mexicans and Hindus. He blamed Muslims.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hitler blamed the Jews, and that's just not acceptable to me. You know,
It's
I have a lot
old.
of people in Canada and a lot of readers in Canada, and I think the warning to them is clear. You know, you have to speak up because the same thing that happened here could very easily happen
True.
in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But they won't win. Ultimately, I see more fairness and honesty coming in government.
Canadians, they just have this different, I don't know, I mean, I'm being general here, of course, but I'm feeling like there's just a different spirit with a lot of them. I know there's some MAGAs up there, you know, or whatever it is for Canada, but we have a lot of readers from Canada on YouTube, and they know so much about our politics. It's amazing me, you know, it amazes me.
Them. Or look at, I think Marianne in Australia even.
She does, yes, absolutely.
The same thing could happen in Australia.
It could.
So we never thought we'd have this conversation.
I know. Who thought, right? Who thought that?
Which makes me really angry because my father fought in World War II.
Mine too. Yep. My brother was in Vietnam, so yeah, I just had that.
Oh, I'm so
crafty Aunt Nan, I'm sorry you lost your husband today, a year ago. Miss love to you, dear. Much love to you, and I bet you miss
you. And he's giving the message: just know that I'm still alive, but on the other side. I know we miss them in the flesh, but you know, I see like his hand out, and he's taking your hand.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you'll see him out of the corner of your eye. At some point, you'll see a real figure. That'll be him letting you know he's around.
Oh, that's sweet. Yes. Just remember, crafty Aunt Ann, you only have to think about him. He's right there. And
he's going to be like, I can hear some footsteps and I see a door creaking, and that'll be him to let you know he's around. He didn't abandon you, I promise.
He didn't, no.
But he's saying your work is not done, and when it's your time to cross over, he will come for you.
Oh, what a beautiful thing to know. That's great. So Aunt Nan, we love you. We hope that this helps a little bit.
Loss, and I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Grief is something you have to work through, and don't let anybody tell you how to grieve.
That's right,
man.
That's right. It's your grief, and you can work through it. This is from Deb B. Kane. She says, I'm wondering if fighter planes will be given to Ukraine and to finalize the invasion of Russia and send a message to the world. I, for one, am tired of schools and hospitals being a target for Putin. So you think so, huh? That they'll get the planes?
In fact, my guide showed me behind closed doors. If I'm moving around you, I'm sorry, my back is bothering me.
It's okay.
Behind closed doors, I think they've already been training some Ukrainian pilots to fly some of those fighter planes.
Okay. Okay.
You know, just like they got the tanks. Well, Trump is trying to control the House with the whole debt ceiling thing, because that's coming from Putin. Because Putin wants our House to not approve sending aid to Ukraine because he thinks he can win, but it won't work. It will not work.
Right.
In fact, Biden and McCarthy met already about the debt ceiling. So
yeah, they're supposed to meet today. Did we hear anything yet? Or
the debt ceiling is not about the debt ceiling is not about spending more money. It's
I know that. Yeah, no, I do.
We've already made.
Right.
You know, and if it's a credit card, if you don't pay it off, your credit rating goes down.
That's right. That's right. And I don't think they really. There was a guy talking today from South Dakota to somebody, and he was just being, you're blaming us, and he was being really weird, and it was just, he doesn't get it. He does not get it.
You know, I think some of those politicians get it. They just want to make it look. They just use it for political rhetoric, is what I think.
Yeah.
But I do see Ukraine getting planes. Yes, I do.
Great. Thank you for the question. Lise Niedermeyer wants to know, what do you see in Hakeem Jeffries' future? Anything in particular?
I see him being Speaker of the House at some point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. I think it's Niedermeyer in Germany.
Yeah, Lisa Niedermeyer. Yep.
Niedermeyer.
Yep.
You know, I keep saying though, I think Wes Moore, he's the governor of Maryland. I see him as president at some point.
Really?
I do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But Hakeem Jeffries, I hope he runs for president because he could win. I mean, he's fiery. I mean, he could get people to
Yep.
follow him, and
Yep.
I just like his energy.
Yeah. There's some of them I really like. I love him, and I love the guy that's going for the cancer treatments, Jamie Raskin. I love him. You know, there's certain ones that I just really have an affinity for. And I remember during the remember when Obama was a senator, and I think he was speaking at the of course he was your senator there in Illinois, but he was speaking at the Democratic convention, and we just knew he was presidential. You know, you didn't have to be a psychic really to figure out that he was going to do really well. And I think you're right. And I think Jeffries is the same way.
He
I do.
is.
Yeah.
It was funny. I went to an Aretha Franklin concert years ago. It was before Barack had just become a senator, and his wife was there, Michelle. And I told my cousin, I said, you know, her husband is going to be future president. My cousin goes, "You're crazy." I said, "No, I'm telling you." I just felt
Yep. Good for you. Very good.
You know, he's working behind the scenes. I'll tell you who else is going to be working behind the scenes is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. She is. She's going to help him out. And but she really wants them to stand on their own 2 feet. But I can see her just, you know, and what I loved about it was the way they all stuck together when they went through that horrendous 15 times or whatever it was. Yeah.
I really hope that, you know, that Trump runs on the independent ticket. Because he'll split the vote, and that means a sure win for the Democrats.
That's very true. That's very true.
If Trump doesn't get the Republican nomination, I can tell you right now, he'll do everything that he can do to sabotage the Republican Party. He already has.
Yep. And if they have too many people, then that's going to be good for him. But I'm hoping, here's the question that I was about to put up was from Becky Brothers. She says, when will there be indictments on 45 and his buddies? And that's the question. Because if they are done before, he can't even run.
It's all going to hit at once.
Okay.
Federal indictments coming from New York. If the prosecuting attorney there would get up off his doofus and do something.
Yeah.
His dupa, I should have said. The thing in Georgia, it's all going to hit. I mean, all the stuff he pulled. Yeah. And the Mueller report is going to come front and center again. And so that FBI agent that just got arrested, he's going to sing like a canary. And there's more indictments coming from his testimony because that'll go up to Trump. There'll be able to trace it to Trump.
Yeah.
So, and how they played with the election, like the release of those emails 2 weeks before the election, that was, I don't think the FBI director had any, I don't think he was involved, but some of the FBI said, here it is.
Right.
And pushed him to release them. So, and that, I think that came directly from that dude they just arrested in the FBI.
So you want to know something really interesting? I saw today that Trump had put on his Truth Social that he basically said, I was Stormy Daniels, I just followed what my attorneys told me, and that was a long time ago, and we should just forget it. This whole diatribe. And Stormy Daniels said, thank you for admitting you did it. Because basically that's what he
doesn't know when to shut his mouth.
He doesn't. He does not.
Been a Democrat that had done something like that and said something like that. Maybe you see. So he's in trouble with Stormy Daniels, but also in trouble for that alleged rape.
Right, of C. Jean Carroll. And what was really, did you see that he thought the picture of C. Jean Carroll was Marla Maples?
No.
And if you look at the picture, it kind of, C. Jean Carroll was very attractive when she was younger. He's looking at her now as, you know, being in her 60s or 70s, and she's kind of haggard looking, and he's saying, would I go out with that? But she looked like Marla Maples.
Obviously, back then he did.
Oh my
I
God.
see
Yes.
illness around him, though. I really do.
Do you? Oh, wow.
I've been saying Trump needs to watch his head because I see lots of illness coming.
Do you think there's anything buried in the casket with Ivana? No. Okay.
A lot of people said, but I mean, that would be the first place I'd look.
I know.
She was cremated.
Oh, that's true. She was. Oh, she was cremated? I didn't know that.
Was she? I don't know. I just thought.
Oh.
Maybe
Because she was in a casket. She was in a casket. Yeah. Wow.
The reason he had to bury at Mar-a-Lago is because he's too cheap to buy a funeral. The reason he did that is because if you get it zoned as a funeral, as a cemetery, you don't pay tax on it. So that's why he did that. And just Satan went right along with it, of course.
Oh, always looking out for the bucks. Yeah. So oil painter Diana, she is a astrologer. And she's, as we know about, I don't know that much about it. I know enough about it, and probably you do too. But the Pluto aspects that we're dealing with right now are universal. So it doesn't matter when a country's birthday is. It's pretty much universal that there's going to be something going on in the different places. So isn't that cool? That's really cool.
Well, I wish people would hurry up and do what's going to do.
All right, so let's see. I saw another one. This is a good one here. Will the stem cell therapy help with MS for Velvet Touch? Or, I maybe would say anybody's that's undergoing any kind of treatment with stem cell therapy.
I don't think it's perfected enough yet.
Okay.
I mean, stem cells grow other cells.
Right.
So let's say if you could get a stem cell to grow myelin sheaths on the nerves, with the same autoimmune process that caused them to deteriorate happen again. What I do see coming for MS is some real promising therapy with monoclonal antibodies.
Okay, yeah.
And it would turn off the process.
Right.
And some kind of enzyme inhibitor or something.
Okay.
And it would be more like, an injection. I'm not talking about Humira, a product like that. I'm talking about, but the promising thing is, the whole AIDS area brought a lot of promising research and mRNA, messenger RNA. And I think with that research too, even if they turn off the gene that causes the autoimmune thing, then how do you repair the damage? But at some point, I do see that there will be a treatment for it that will arrest it. That's what we see. I can't tell you, Velvet, to take stem cell or not to, because I'm not a physician.
No, right. For entertainment purposes only. Definitely.
But for me, I would do it. But
why not? Yeah. Why? I would think it would be worth a try. And so I agree with you. Yeah. It's worth a try.
But I still see some kind of monoclonal antibody coming out that'll help a lot of people with MS. It depends on the type. I don't know if yours is relapsing, remitting, or progressive, but keep fighting. Keep fighting.
Keep fighting. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Christine Bermel, when I love the word when do you see a woman becoming the president?
Hi, Christine. Christine, how are you? Christine came to Croatia with us this summer.
Oh, really? That's wonderful.
She was taking pictures. Oh, my goodness. I tried to get her to come to Africa, but Christine, I got a great trip going to Italy.
There you go. Mel's trying to sell some tickets. There you go.
Christine, you were such a joy to have on the trip. I mean, everybody was a joy.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, Christine, how are you? Really nice lady. A woman president of the United States, hopefully tomorrow at 2:30. I think Liz Cheney might run for president just to screw it up for Trump and a lot of them. I don't think she'll win. I don't agree with her politics.
No, I know. I don't either. But I did like the fact that she stood up for what was right. She and Adam Kinzinger.
It was a Jewish word, chutzpah. That means fortitude. Yeah. She had chutzpah.
But
I do think within the next maybe 8 years, I see a woman president.
Uh-huh. Wow. That would be okay, wouldn't it? I think that would be okay.
I believe in women in power.
Uh-huh. There you go. I love it. Sherry, you're saying that Ivana Trump was cremated. I'm shocked that they had her put her in a coffin then. Oh my God. Yeah. Why would she need a casket?
Knowing Donald Trump, they probably got a discount.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, maybe they had to have that. Maybe they had to have that because he wanted to get Mar-a-Lago as a cemetery, so he had to pay tax. Maybe he had to bury.
Oh my good Lord.
I just
They
don't
probably
think,
put a bunch of rocks in there or something.
I don't think there's anything in there. I don't see any documents in there.
That is crazy. That is
Really,
really
you want to check the sewer, you might see some flush down the toilet.
I don't know. I just don't. That whole thing smells, as far as I'm concerned.
Certainly does. No pun.
Yeah, it does. I think something happened. I really do. But yeah. Oh, Christine says, thank you for the kind words, Mel. I love the trip to Croatia. That's great. Yeah.
Hey, well, come with us to Italy.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be in October, Christine, so it's not going to be so hot.
All right. Yes, Mel is trying to get a group together to go to Italy for 10 days. So if you're interested, send them an email. Let them know. There you go.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So we've got Crazy Shark 22. Do you see the Dem and GOP nominees for the presidential election?
I'm not really seeing much on that yet.
Okay.
I think Satan thinks that he's going to be the Republican nominee.
I agree.
I think I don't know. I think a lot of the Republicans are tired of that ultra-right BS. And there are a lot of them that are more moderate. And, but, Kevin Chandler said that, he sees the Republican Party kind of fractured, breaking off into factions. And I think he's right.
Yeah, I think so, too.
The moderates over here and the moderates here.
Right.
But I still see some Republican, that might be MAGA running as an independent. Or somebody that would throw a cog in the wheel for the Republicans, for the MAGAs.
Right. And I will tell you that Adam Kinzinger has a group that is called Country Over Party. And he's trying to sort of work with that group to get people of both parties to come together and see what they can do in order to make some significant changes for the moderates, I guess.
Hallelujah.
I know.
I've been seeing a new party coming into play.
Yeah.
But I also see a new progressive party coming. Maybe they should call it Progressive Workers Party or something. But
oh, there you go. There you go.
I don't like the terms conservative and liberal. I'm conservative in some areas like military spending.
Right.
And liberal in others. But I don't like to pigeonhole people, except for...
But isn't that libertarian, Mel? Isn't that what a libertarian is?
I don't think so.
I think that
it's all about individual freedom and all of that, but to me, libertarian denotes somebody that's like ultra right, and I'm not.
Well, they like one guy I knew said he just was a conservative on spending, but everything else he was more open to learning about or being more progressive about. But maybe it's individual. I don't know.
The thing that bothers me is that the Republicans are criticizing, the Democrats are spending too much, Biden's spending too much, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. But they let Trump spend more money and waste more money than any president in America.
They have. Yes. Thank you. Yep. Absolutely.
These double standards and it's hypocrisy.
It is hypocrisy. So I got a gotcha question, and I love this. I found this out today. Daniel Goldman, who was the attorney for Trump's first impeachment, has now been made a congressman in his state. And they put him on that weaponization of justice system committee. And he's going to be sort of pitted against Jim Jordan, because he's in charge of that. And do you remember him? Did you watch that at all?
Goldman's a Democrat, though, isn't he?
Oh, that's what I mean. He is a Democrat. Yes, but they're putting him on the committee as a Democrat. And I just thought, wow, that's really, really cool.
He's
And
going to Jim Jordan up and spit him out.
huh? Yes.
In other words, he's going to fricassee him. Get the
When I saw that,
wall because the barbecue's coming.
the barbecue is good. When I saw that, I said, "Oh my God, that's fabulous!" You know, they got to put people like that, and because Jordan's never had taken any responsibility for what happened to those guys in the gym. You know, when they got.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
They got molested.
Thank you, crafty Aunt Nan. Thank you, dear.
This is what we call karma.
Yes, it is. It's not great.
And I'm taking perverse pleasure in seeing it play out.
I understand. And we're not supposed to, but I know. But technically, I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like we have to tamper down our glee. But it's hard to.
Got to eat popcorn, drink Coke, and watch the movie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. I'm going to go back. We aren't particularly taking any, we were taking mostly political and world questions this evening. I have pulled in a few personal questions, but we're not, that isn't really the focus of the show. I'm sorry if some of you feel, you know, that you would like to talk to some folk on the other side. I do have a show on tomorrow at 2:30 where mediums come on, and you can come on and get reading with the mediums that I have on there if you wish, and also on Sunday. But tonight, Mel and I just decided we were going to do it this way. So, but I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you in any way because of what's going on here. So
Ron at Unconditional Love Tarot. Hi, Ron. I see Ron.
Yeah, Ron's a great guy, isn't he? It's his birthday actually on Saturday. He's having his birthday show. Yeah,
I'm going to officiate a wedding on Saturday. So
are you really?
Yep.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you're a jack of all trades.
You know, you do it. How can you say no to a friend?
I know. No, that's really awesome. It really is. I remember getting back in the 90s, I got, what is it? Universal Life Church.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. Okay. I got one. I don't know where it is. But I've always wanted to do it but I usually do eulogies at funerals. That's my deal. Because I'm a person that does that.
There you go.
But yeah, as a matter of fact, my brother passed, and so I'm going to be going back to do his to New Hampshire in end of March, early April. So, but you know, I just feel like that's my calling. So,
well, you know what? At least you're answering your calling.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming here, finding this community, finding the wonderful people that are here, the subscribers and the other readers, and it's just been fabulous. So,
it's kind of nice to rebrand. You know.
It is.
I did my readings when I was 18, and I'll be 69. Do the math, 50 years.
Right.
You know, I've done a lot of television and radio. I've worked on murder cases and missing people with police departments across the country and some international cases. But, you know, it's kind of nice to have this community. Even though it's virtual, it's still a nice feeling.
Uh-huh. It is
nice
a nice
to be a part of it. Yeah. Thanks to Linda Grindle. Linda Grindle has pulled a lot of this together.
She's brought a lot of us all to. She's been fabulous. She's a fabulous. What is the word I want? Way shower. That's what I think. She's a way shower. She's also a cheerleader, and
you know,
she is a fabulous woman. Yeah.
A client of mine, Gunnar, told me about Linda, and he kept telling me about the Comanche psychic. I'm like, you know, I'm hard-headed. Okay. I'm a hard-headed Aries. Okay, right, all right. And he said, can I tell her about you? And I said, I don't care. So he said, do you want her to call or email you? And I said, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. So he called me and said, I emailed her and she answered back. She's been emailing you. You haven't responded. I said, well, join the club because I get so many emails.
Oh, sure.
So coming home one night, I'm thinking, let me call her. Gunnar said, Mel, you got to call her. So I called her and she's like, I'll call you back. And I said, okay. So I got home and I said, would you like to do FaceTime? She goes, no, my hair's in curlers.
It sounds like Linda.
And I said, well, so is mine, but I don't have much of it. And then she said, do you like Trump? And I said, I can't stand the Cheeto head expletive, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
she read her, and then she's like, would you like to be on my show? And I said, yeah, and the rest is history. So,
Oh, that's fabulous.
you know, we become very good friends.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
She's really a good friend.
She's been very good to me. She's been on several times, and I enjoy having her. She's just she's funny. She's like you. She's funny.
I tell her, I'll play the straight man to you. And she's, what do you mean? I said, comedy.
You would be playing straight. That would be different, wouldn't it?
You know, we got like both of our warped sense of humor.
It's like the time she tells the story about the lady who couldn't find her foot, remember? Or she wants to know where her foot is, I think, or something. And because she had been in a plane crash and lost her foot, and they couldn't find it when.
Linda's retired from breeding now, but I was on her show, and this was so funny. I forgot there was somebody else on, and I said to contact me, blah blah blah, and to contact those and blah blah blah. And she goes, and to contact me, www.bodacioustatas.com.
That's great. I bet. That's perfect. Oh my God, she's so funny.
She's a really good person too. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, Terry.
Terry is wondering about if Liz runs for office or maybe be offered a position within the administration if somebody maybe wants.
I see her running for office again. Yeah. I don't know if it's representative, but I see her running again, and I see her winning.
Wow.
So that's what I see.
Yeah. Well, that woman that won, she doesn't look like she's too, the swiftest thing in the room. Harriet Hagerman or something like that.
I'm sorry, say again.
Harriet Hagerman. I think she's the one that won. Yeah, she beat Liz. So maybe Liz should move to another state and then try to be the senator again. Because they do that all the time, right?
But behind the scenes, she's not taking a back seat. She's still active, mark my words. And she's talking to a lot of those moderate Republicans and figuring out what to do to get these MAGA Republicans out of office. I mean, she's clearly not afraid of Marjorie Taylor Greene or Matt Gaetz or Jim Jordan.
No, she isn't. No.
I mean, she told them, "Where the F were you?"
Absolutely. And I did see that Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking in front of some kind of a committee today, and she was talking about, how she is. She goes in circles, and apparently, the girl that was shot on that day on January 6th, that was trying to come through the window.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Her mother was in the audience, and why don't we give her a medal or whatever? Ashley Babbitt, that's it. Why don't we give her mother a medal for her? Why didn't we? And it's like, hello, are you really that foolish? I mean, well, she is. But,
well, Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to be in hot water, and Boebert's going to be in hot water too.
Good.
Oh, Kevin's loving vibrations. Hi, Kevin. He's in the house. You all, I'll be on Kevin's channel tomorrow night live.
There you go. Great.
So
that's fabulous. You'll have to check it out. If you don't get your question answered tonight, go over there. Hi, Kevin. It's nice to see you. Claire wonders, do your guides get a lot of responses from past presidents about the crap going on in Washington? That's a great one, Claire.
I get enough responses from the live ones about the crap going on in Washington.
I'm sure they're rolling around, aren't they?
Well,
aren't they just like rolling around in their graves?
In his grave, because really, actually, Democrat is now what Republican was then.
Yes, because it flipped. Yeah, it did flip.
Yeah. And he's like, this is not my Republican Party, you all.
No, not at all.
Unfortunately, there will always be bigotry and racism. That's sad. But I see it going back underground for a long, long time.
I hope so. Because there'll
always be cockroaches. But
no, you're right.
But now the lights are on. There's nowhere for them to hide, and so Unfortunately,
Yep.
there'll be more cockroaches hatch, but they're not going to be in control like many of them are now.
Yep.
Did I
Absolutely.
just call people cockroaches? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, and isn't it true that if you have cockroaches and you move to another house, that you take them with you?
Correct.
Yeah. So we have, and they don't die in nuclear wars either. They live. So.
No, but they go in the Roach Hotel and they never come out.
Oh wow. Oh God. Or they might be having these kind of roaches. I don't know.
Those might be better.
So Amanda says, trigger warning for some, but will there be more solid research into COVID vaccine harms? What I want to say is, Mel and I lived in the time where birth control pills came out, and there were really no tests for it. We women had to take it, and if we wanted to do it, there's nothing that was happening in the past that we could have known how that would work. And so it's mostly taken on faith. I would like to think that, there's somebody wants to dig it up, and there's always going to be something, don't you think, Mel? There's always going to be something that they could blame on that. But,
for me, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I mean,
right.
people,
me either. No, me either.
If people, have a medical condition or whatever, I get that. They can't get a vaccine. I understand that. But when I was a kid, there was a polio vaccine. I think it came out in 57 or 58.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was a polio pioneer. He's one of the first to get polio shot. But even when I was a kid, I was born in 54. And in the summertime in August, my mother didn't want us to go swimming pool because a lot of kids would get polio. It was really contagious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I remember that, I got my polio shot, but then when the sugar cube came out, I thought that wasn't the Salk. Was it the Salk vaccine? I forget. But I remember taking the sugar cube. I asked for another one because I like the sugar cube.
It's like a piece of candy.
Yeah. In line. And before we went to grade school, we had to get smallpox vaccines. They take that.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yeah.
And you had to get your vaccinations or you couldn't go to school.
Yeah. And my dad had TB, and I had to keep going in and getting Schick tests to make sure I didn't get it.
She said, Schick, you all Schick.
Yeah, Schick.
I had COVID, and trust me, you don't want
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
And so I've had the vaccines, and it didn't do anything to me. I'm teasing.
No, I have too, and I'm when I got the COVID, it was later after all the vaccines, and I was glad that I had it because I think it would have been worse.
I got it before the vaccine came out.
My God!
I had it
really, Mel?
Oh. But luckily, I was lucky because one of the healthcare systems here called me with the day I tested positive, and there was this pathologist, really nice guy, and he asked me if I'd be willing to join a study through Johns Hopkins. They were doing it here, and it's called convalescent plasma therapy. So they took blood plasma from people who had COVID with antibodies, and they took plasma from people who didn't have antibodies.
Right.
And so I had to go in for all kinds of blood work. And the next day I went in for an infusion, a big bag of plasma. And all I know is that day, it was a snowstorm. I'll never forget it. That day I felt great. Next day I had chills and fever. But within 3 days, I was feeling amazing. And I found out about 6 months ago that I indeed did get the antibodies.
Oh, wow, Mel. Really?
And so I felt very lucky. And
you were?
Talk about spiritual intervention. I said to this pathologist, how did you get my name? He said, well, we look at people from certain demographics and people over a certain age group, and we're trying to see if it'll get people out of the hospital. And he said, we had somebody in the study and they canceled. They just didn't want to do it. And he said, your name just stuck out at me. And I said, well, I can probably explain why, but you won't believe me. And I told him that I was a psychic, and he said, you're right, I probably wouldn't believe you. He said, but I'm sure that something grabbed my eye on this.
Yeah.
We had the most amazing conversation. And he taught me a lot about COVID. It was amazing.
I bet. Now, did your partner also have COVID when you did?
He never
No,
got it because
he never did. Okay.
well, he did, but way later on. So what happened was I would stay upstairs. And whenever
Uh-huh.
I go downstairs, they didn't know if it was airborne in those days. They didn't know if
Right,
it
right.
was touch. I would have
Yeah.
on rubber gloves. I would have on a mask.
Uh-huh.
If I ate something, I would cook, and I would set his dinner on the counter. I'd bring
Hmm.
mine upstairs and eat it. Mask
Right.
up, glove up, take it downstairs, sanitize everything.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
never got it.
Yeah.
But last June, right before we went to Croatia, he called and he said, Mel, I've got COVID. And I said, I'm hanging a mask on the back door.
Hmm.
When you get home, put it on and go right upstairs. We did the same thing in reverse.
Reverse. Yeah. Yeah.
But he had it really bad.
Uh,
My
yeah.
husband, I love him, but he can be very stubborn. So I said to him,
As husbands can be.
let me take you to the hospital. Let me take you.
Uh-huh.
No, I'll be okay. No, I'll be okay.
Right.
So I talked to one of my friends who's a pathologist, and she told me some of the stuff to do for him, and I did. But I said, Gary, just go get that new drug. It stops the replication of the virus.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll recover faster. No, I'm not doing that. It took him almost 2.5 weeks to recover. And when he did, he said, Mel, he said, one day he was feeling better. He thought I was okay. He said, I'm going to work. I said, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And then the next day, oh my God, it hit him really hard.
Sure it did. Yeah.
And so he said, after he was over and done with it, he said, I was going to ask you to take me to the hospital, but he said, I didn't. I said, why? Were you afraid I'd say I told you so?
Yeah. It's so funny. You live with somebody, and if you're psychic or you're intuitive or whatever it is, and they know that, but they still don't believe you, you want to go,
I know.
It's like, okay, if that's what, I don't know everything, but gee whiz, you could kind of consider what I have to say, because maybe I know a little bit about it. Yeah.
Somebody just said convalescent plasma has been discontinued. And I work in a blood bank. It didn't work as well as they hoped. Well, maybe it did, but it worked really well for me.
It did.
But anyway, my great niece works in medicine. And when I had COVID, she said, Uncle Mel, take aspirin because COVID can cause blood clots. And the pathologist had said that too.
That's true.
So when Gary got COVID, I would give him aspirin every day and a glass of green tea, because green tea is a blood thinner.
That's right. Right.
So,
Yep. I have a dear friend. She's only in her early 50s, and she had COVID right in the beginning, and she has long-term COVID, and she can't do anything. She crawls. If she does something, like she'll take the garbage out for the garbage man, and then she'll have to stay in bed for 3 days because that was so much.
It's an inflammatory disease. That's what the pathologists explain, and they don't know what it can do neurologically. They don't know what it can do to other body systems. That's why it's not good to play around with it.
No, it isn't. And they're saying that it's a lot like CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, and that makes sense. But yes, Sherry. Sherry. Yeah, you were right, Sherry. We weren't given any choice. We just had to do it. Yeah, we just. Yeah. And I had. At the time, we didn't have measles, mumps, or German measles shots, and I remember having all of those. And ended up with chicken pox when my baby was born. He and I had it together. So,
the idea of that was, my sister went to school before I did. She was 4 years older, and it'd be like, oh, she'll get it at school. She'll bring it home to him. He'll get it, and So I had measles, I had chicken pox. I never got mumps though. But
that's good.
When I was older, they had a vaccine for it, so I got vaccinated for it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
but I never had mumps.
I remember having all of them, and there was one that you had to. I think it was measles. If you watch TV, you had to wear sunglasses.
That was measles.
That was measles. Okay.
Because it was major eye sensitive to light.
Right. Yeah.
It's
amazing. Yeah. Wow. Well, we made it through. We made it through our youth with all of those things. And
some of the home remedies my grandmother had, it was like, I'm surprised that we live. In the South. Vicks Salve or Vaseline would cure everything.
Oh, no kidding! All over your chest, Vicks Vapo Rub, right?
And make us eat it. It says right on there, "Do not eat." It's like
right. Yep. And my mother always had a cold compress on my throat. That was another thing that always was put on me.
I had scarlet fever 3 times when I was.
Oh my Lord!
It's strep.
Wow.
But I had the rash and everything. And I just remember being really sick, and my temperature went up to 106 or 107. And Peter Harkos was a psychic. He was my mentor. He said that's what gave me my psychic ability.
Oh, you got it through osmosis.
Yeah, right. But I was having convulsions. I was having seizures, and they called the old country doctor. And I guess, he asked my mother if she had sleeping pills. And I guess back in those days, they were barbiturates. Said, yeah, give him a half of one of those. And all I can remember is them giving me a tepid bath, rubbing me with alcohol.
Right.
Yep. I lived.
I know. And
Coke
Annie says,
syrup.
remember Coke syrup? Yeah.
That was a cure for everything. They got a stomach ache and Coke syrup.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God. It's surprising we made it through.
So nasty sweet. Oh, that or
yes.
oil. Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
I'd rather do the Coke syrup.
I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, Mel, I had a wonderful time. I'm so happy that you could come and be with me. And I'd love you to come back anytime you'd like. Everybody really was looking forward to meeting you and seeing you here with me. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
And everybody below, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to this wonderful ladies.
Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you. And to Mel's too. Go over and check him out. And tomorrow night, if you want a little more Mel, then he'll be with Kevin Chandler on his channel, right?
Yes.
On Kevin's Loving Vibrations. There you go. Thanks, everybody. God bless you all. Have a good night.
Namaste.
Thank you. Bye-bye.